welcome to my first London YouTube video. I was thinking what should be my first YouTube video in London, and I thought because I've just moved from Amsterdam to London, to a new city, I really feel like it's the perfect time to revamp my whole style. Also, it's a brand new year, it's 2024, the perfect time to reinvent yourself a bit, level up of course. So that's why for my first video in London, my first YouTube video in 2024, I wanted to do what I'm wearing this year, also a bit of a fashion wish list, product wish list. Hopefully it will give you some inspiration if you're also wanting to revamp your style this year. Also, I wanted to say as a disclaimer, I have absolutely no intention of going out and buying all of these things that I'm going to mention in one go, or buying all of these things new. Honestly, for all of the things that I'm going to mention, they're all thriftable, they can all be bought secondhand. Also, they could be things that I already have in my wardrobe that just need to be styled or worn in a different way. More than anything, this is just an inspiration video of what I'm going to be wearing in 2024, and hopefully it can just be some inspiration, some references for your 2024 wardrobe as well. So the first thing on my list, I know I just said that I had no intention of going out and buying a whole load of new pieces, but this first one, I definitely want to go see if I can thrift one this week. It is a big, huge sort of oversized fur coat. Obviously, fur coats have been a huge trend sort of at the moment and at the end of 2023, but to be honest, I personally think that fur coats are just one of those timeless pieces. They've always been glamorous, always been stylish. I just think if you have a huge fur coat, you can wear a sort of plain outfit, a minimalist outfit, throw a fur coat over the top, have some nice accessories, and it's gonna look so cool. So what I'm gonna do this week is I'm gonna go to Brick Lane and then probably Portobello Market on Saturday to see if they have any. But I did also find so many bargains on Depop for faux fur coats specifically. It sounds bad to say, but I want one that sort of looks more real, even though I definitely don't want to buy a real fur coat. I do want one specifically in a colorway very similar to this. The second thing on my list is just a Faux Fur Gillet. Obviously I'm wearing one now. I do think this is such a thriftable piece. The reason that I love them, I think they're just a great layering piece. So I'm definitely going to do more digging in charity shops, on Depop, and see if I can find more iterations of Faux Fur Gilets. The next thing on my list, sort of similar to the fur coats, this is something that I saw so many girls wearing, so many people wearing in Amsterdam, and they're these Afghan coats and Afghan gilets. Again, I just think that these are such a timeless piece. They've been around for years and years, always been considered stylish, always been considered glamorous in a way. I did look on Depop, and obviously there are so many Afghan coats you can buy. I feel like this is a very typical Y2K aesthetic, Y2K kind of style. But for this one, because I really do intend on keeping it sort of for the rest of my life, I'm really going to try and shop for it in person, try and find a really good quality vintage one. Or actually, I did see a lot of small brands in Amsterdam selling the Afghan gilets specifically, so I would consider buying a new one from a small brand as well. But that's definitely something that at some point in this year, I definitely want to have an Afghan coat or an Afghan gilet. The next thing I have on this list, sort of sticking to this faux fur theme, is of course fluffy hats. Whenever I think of fluffy hats, I always think of the small hat designer Emma Brewin. I remember I first came across her when she just started out, and I've really seen her get so much success. They're obviously such good quality, they would really last forever, and they're just so bold and bright. I also think they're so flattering. They are more expensive, obviously, just because they're higher quality and it is a small brand, a small designer. I did look on Depop, and there are some people selling Emma Brewin hats. Obviously, to buy a hat that costs this much would definitely have to be an investment piece, definitely something to think about. However, I'm still on the lookout for different iterations of fluffy hats, and maybe one day I will invest in an Emma Brewin hat specifically. So the next thing on my list isn't a specific piece or a specific product. It's more of a category in my wardrobe that I think definitely needs some attention. Every time I'm getting ready to go for drinks or for dinner or just any sort of evening occasion, there's always an idea in my mind of what I want to wear, the kind of top that I want to have, and I just don't have it in my wardrobe. My mind's sort of going to the Ganni blouse. In my 2024 fashion trend prediction video, I spoke about this trend that we're going to see in 2024 of layering your outfit like a cake, and I feel like when I think of how to layer your outfit like a cake, I definitely think of big, ruffle, bold blouses, and that's something that I definitely want to be wearing in the evening, wearing when I go out for drinks, and just wearing for any sort of leveled up occasion wear outfit. There's actually this small brand in Amsterdam that I'm really obsessed with. They basically make these handmade blouses. I really regret not buying one now because I could have gone and picked it up in the store in Amsterdam, but I think they're called Bohemian Bloom, and they literally make these gorgeous elevated blouses with bows on, big sleeves. This is absolutely what I mean when I'm talking about a statement, bold, ruffle blouse. Also Sabina Sommer. I think I've mentioned Sabina Sommer on this channel before, but she does the most amazing, classy, timeless blouses. She also does matching sets. Also on the topic of evening wear tops or just occasion wear, I really want sort of a asymmetrical black, maybe a boob tube top or a halter neck black top that is sort of baggy and loose, maybe backless, that you could pair with a black scarf. I've seen so many girls wearing a similar top to this, a similar outfit with this top, and I just think it's so classy, it's so cool. So the next thing on my list is a specific piece. I've seen a lot of people wearing this in London, a lot of girls wearing this in London. This is definitely something that I wouldn't wear in Amsterdam, but I will like to explore if I will wear it in London. It's basically these bubble skirts, these sort of short, puffy bubble skirts. I've seen a lot of girls wearing this. I feel like it is kind of a micro trend in the UK, in London, and I just think they're so cool. I couldn't really find any examples of the type of bubble skirt that I want on Depop or on Vinted. I know that designers like Aaron Esch, a new up-and-coming designer, he creates these kind of skirts with this kind of aesthetic, this kind of look that I'm talking about, that I mean. I also saw an example on Dion Lee's Spring 24 collection at New York Fashion Week as well. I did also see this small designer, I'll put their name on screen, in their Spring 22 collection or summer collection. They did a iteration of this kind of bubble skirt. They also kind of look like bloomers, these kind of bloomer shorts. The next thing that I have on my list is a dark denim Co-ord. I've seen a few examples of a matching dark denim Co-ord, and I always think it just looks so classy, so put together. I think a good way to sum up what I mean by this look is this Adidas Originals collaboration. I also have been seeing, and I know again this is a bit of a micro trend, but people basically wearing dark denim straight leg jeans and then rolling up the cuff of the jeans, but giving it this sort of huge rolled up flat cuff. I think this looks really cool. I just do think if you had these pieces, they would really level up your wardrobe. You could wear them in different ways. Also really invest in some good quality denim that doesn't need to be washed necessarily. Like I said, I always just think if only I had some dark denim jeans with a matching top, matching jacket, so that's definitely something that I'm on the lookout for. So I sort of mentioned this when I was talking about sophisticated going out tops, but in 2024, I want to wear just sort of more asymmetrical clothing. Again, I know this was a trend in 2023 last year, but I just personally think that an asymmetrical outfit, an asymmetrical top, asymmetrical sleeves, literally asymmetrical anything, I just think it's so flattering. I do already have a few asymmetrical pieces in my wardrobe, so I think I just need to style them in new ways, maybe even style them together, different types of asymmetrical clothing, pair them up. Another sort of random one that actually springs to mind if I'm thinking about asymmetrical outfits or just a bit more interesting, sort of elevated basics in a way, are these sort of square mini dresses with the halter neck with the ties. I've seen so many cool examples of vintage pieces like this on NHO Girl, also on Shop Yachts as well. So that's everything that's sort of on my apparel wish list for 2024. I did also want to talk about footwear specifically. Obviously I've just done my 2024 footwear trend predictions. I mentioned in that video that because I just left my job at Nike, I really am exploring different types of footwear. Honestly, for the past 5 years, the only trainers that I've worn have been Nike trainers, and then obviously I have boots, sort of going out shoes, but really for the most part, I just wore Nike trainers for the past 5 years. So now I've left my job at Nike, I am just loving exploring different footwear brands and also just leveling up the footwear that I have overall. To be honest, when I worked for Nike, I really was not interested in Adidas trainers at all, but now I have left. I really do want some Adidas Sambas, to be honest, just some black and white ones. I get they're kind of basic, kind of everyone has them, but I do think they are a good staple footwear piece to have in your wardrobe. I do also really love the more vintage, retro, Y2K type of chunky trainers. I did see so many examples of these kind of trainers on Depop. Also the vintage seller Afterglow on Instagram, they seem to have some really good footwear pieces that kind of fit into this kind of aesthetic that I'm looking for with vintage footwear specifically. So definitely go check them out if you are into this kind of aesthetic of footwear. But really on Depop, you can find so many cool vintage sneakers. Also in 2024, I really would love some boots with a square toe. I think this is so interesting. I've mentioned the small brand Dirt on this channel before. Also Cruda Footwear is a really nice small footwear brand as well. I also recently came across Viron and also Kadla Shoes, so I'm going to check those out, see what they have. Again, with footwear, I really don't want to encourage overconsumption. You definitely don't need hundreds of pairs of shoes, but I do think having 1 or 2 pairs of really classy black boots, that's always going to be helpful. You can add them to every outfit, and I do think that I am lacking this kind of elevated, classy going out boot. So the final bits and bobs I want to mention for my 2024 fashion wish list is obviously the accessories that I'm on the lookout for in 2024. I really do love any sort of statement accessory, like hair accessories, statement belts, statement bags. However, for me personally, they're weirdly always the part of the outfit that I put on and style with an outfit, and then when I'm about to leave the house, kind of second guess it and take it off. I feel like elevated accessories are a perfect example of something that I didn't use in full force in Amsterdam, but I will start to explore more in London. To be honest, when I just think of London style, my mind instantly goes to like big, exaggerated hair scrunchies. I've mentioned Sabina Sommer already. Personally, I believe that they do the coolest elevated hair accessories. Also, when I was looking on Depop, there are actually so many small brands, so many small sellers that are selling handmade scrunchies. They seem to have loads of cool hair accessories, loads of cool stuff. Also, just today actually I came across this small brand, really small brand, that seems to be selling hair accessories specifically as well. Also as well, what I like is that you don't necessarily need to go out and buy new hair accessories. Bows are obviously still a huge trend, ribbons as well, and you can definitely just DIY your own sort of hair accessories. I do also think that belts are something that I would just never buy firsthand. I always come across so many interesting belts in charity shops. Weirdly, I do think if you go on Vinted or Depop, belts seem to be a bit more overpriced, but I would say if you're looking for more belts to accessorize your outfit, definitely go to charity shops. I always come across so many good belts. The final thing that I want to mention that I'll be wearing in 2024, my 2024 fashion wish list, is just more silver chunky jewelry. Honestly, I think if you just go on Instagram, you can come across so many cool small jewelry brands. I did actually hear something interesting that apparently right now there are more small jewelry brands than ever before, and obviously that's because of social media and how easy it is to create and promote your own jewelry brand. And really that's why if you go on Instagram, you can come across so many cool independent jewelry brands that really do more interesting jewelry like ear cuffs or just more organic shapes, interesting types of designs. A guy who just joined my team at Nike actually before I left, Yago, he has his own jewelry brand. Shout out to Yago, shout out to his jewelry brand. He does some really interesting stuff. I also recently came across this small jewelry brand. I believe all the pieces that they create are sustainable as well. Obviously the Great Frog is another great jewelry brand based in London. I'm absolutely obsessed with all of their designs. I believe everything they do is also made to order. I really would love to get their heart necklace, the Heartfire necklace. One of my friends, she has loads of jewelry from the Great Frog and it really does look such good quality. They're such statement pieces and you could definitely treasure them forever. I also came across this small jewelry designer. I feel like the pieces that he designs, that he creates, are so elevated, so interesting, so timeless. And again, in 2024, I really want to use my jewelry, use my accessories to just level up my outfits, make them more interesting without having to wear necessarily crazy apparel, crazy footwear, just add the interesting element through my accessories. And these are just some of the jewelry brands that I think are great examples of what I mean by this aesthetic. I also really want a Vivian Westwood necklace. I specifically want the 3-row pearl choker. I think these are amazing. Again, I think layering this with other silver jewelry, other necklaces would look insane. But that really was it in terms of everything that's on my mind in terms of what I'm going to be wearing in 2024. Again, like I said, my intention is not to go out and buy a whole load of new stuff. I always want to have a very circular wardrobe, so when I sell pieces, making room for new, and of course always buying secondhand, pre-loved vintage when I can, and really build up a wardrobe that I love, that is quality and is going to stand the test of time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some inspiration. Let me know what you're going to be wearing in 2024. Let me know what you think of these brands, these aesthetics, these pieces, and until the next one, I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!